I worry about myself and my family.
Elizabeth fears reprisals for speaking out. She prefers we not show her face. The Hope Steffi strip search case inspired her to come forward and tell her story.
This could happen to anybody.
One night, a Stark County Sheriff deputy pulled Elizabeth over for failing to signal during a lane change.
ABC.
According to the officer's incident report, she failed some aspects of a field sobriety test like the one being done here. He arrested her for driving under the influence and took her to the station for further testing.
And blow into the machine like you're blowing up a balloon.
They instructed her to blow into a breathalyzer like this woman is doing. But Elizabeth suffers from asthma, and when she failed to blow harder, she says a deputy marked her as a refusal and made a sexually offensive remark.
One of the officers made the statement that, "Baby, we both know you can blow harder than that."
Baby, we know?
"Baby, we both know you can blow harder than that." And the other officer laughed.
Elizabeth knows how things work in jails. She says she was employed as a teacher in a medium security juvenile prison in Massillon, the same prison where an inmate sexually assaulted her. Perhaps that's why she felt the need to defend herself when she was inside the Stark County jail. She kicked a deputy when he placed his hands on her hips and made another off-color remark.
"Don't worry, honey, I'll personally make sure that we take good care of you while you're in here."
In addition to drinking and driving, she was charged with assault, taken to a cell and told to strip naked. Why? According to the incident report, the officer says Elizabeth wanted to commit suicide. She says that's just not true.
I've never been suicidal. I'm not suicidal. I told them I'm not going to hurt myself. I'm terrified.
Her lawyers say 4 other women, including Hope Steffi, were told they were suicidal as well. This is new video of Steffi inside the Stark County jail. She's wearing a so-called suicide suit on her way to booking. The women's lawyers say a disturbing pattern has developed behind these walls.
Women feel they're being dehumanized in the Stark County jail, and they're not going to tolerate it.
Steffi was naked for 6 hours, Elizabeth for 8 hours, but she was given a blanket which partially covered her. She believes deputies were trying to teach her a lesson for defending herself.
You felt the deputies were punishing you?
Absolutely.
Prosecutors dismissed the assault charge on the condition she pleaded guilty to operating a vehicle while intoxicated. She reluctantly took the deal, but the question remains, was it really necessary for her to remove all her clothes? Since 9/11, even enemy combatants cannot be forced to remove their clothes while they're detained. The Army's field manual considers it cruel and inhuman.
Why should women in any county in the United States be in that position when we don't even do it to terrorists?
Attorneys David Malik and Dennis Neerman represent both Elizabeth and Hope Steffi. They have many questions for Sheriff Swanson, including those surrounding the removal of women's clothing.
I mean, is every woman who comes into that jail suicidal?
Lawyers on both sides are now preparing for depositions in the Hope Steffi lawsuit against the sheriff. The sheriff's office is accusing Steffi of being drunk and out of control. Sheriff Swanson has declined an on-camera interview, but he did take the time to blast me on his website, calling my reports one-sided. Lawyers for Steffi plan to question the sheriff about not only how Steffi was treated behind bars, but about events leading up to her strip search. As you may recall, Steffi was the one who had a friend call 911 for help. She was injured when a cousin assaulted her. Her lawyers want to know why a deputy roughed Steffi up when she was the one who needed the officer's help. If you listen closely to this dash cam video, a deputy told a fellow officer he pushed Steffi up against his cruiser. Was it a push or something more physical?
You heard a boom. You heard a wham.
The Ohio Attorney General has been investigating the Hope Steffi case for 3 months now. The sheriff has declined an on-camera interview. I've been trying for more than 2 weeks to talk to him about the case involving Elizabeth, but his spokesperson says the incident report speaks for itself.